Let's jump to the day of this horrible incident. You leave that morning. Did you take Coley that morning, or did you just go straight to work?
No, I took Cole. I try to take Coley to school every single day. We kind of had our own little ritual.
Okay, and where were you working? What were you working on at that time?
So I was finishing Rockdale County Fire and was engaged at Forsyth County Fire, finishing out both projects.
Were you nervous that Colt might not go to school that day?
Yeah, there was I think the day before, a couple days before, where he had told me I went to school, and I found out that he didn't go to school. So, I was nervous.
Okay. Was there a reason that you would not want to put him in the car, take him to school, and then go to work?
Well, there's a couple things. His bus came at a time, it was before Jenni, but it was later in the morning. So I'm relatively new at Kevin Price. I'd taken a day or two off already. I'd taken a field day trip with little Coley, and so for me to have to do that, it would put me at work late, super late. So had that conversation with Colt, like, I need you to go. He assured me he was going to go. And I felt generally comfortable that, I connected with him. I still in the back of my mind, I was like, man, I need you to go kind of thing. And nervous, yeah, but I knew that he would go. I felt like he would go.
Okay. Did it ever cross your mind that he would be able to put this weapon that we've seen into a backpack and get it into the school?
Not only, no, I never imagined that in my wildest dreams. I never thought that he would even have a thought process of bringing a gun to school or doing any kind of harm to anybody else, let alone anybody at school. So, no, that was not on my mind at all.
Okay. And did you know anything at all about, did he ever talk to you about any obsession that he had with school shooters?
No, sir.
We've seen this big poster of newspaper articles and photographs of various and sundry people. Did you see that in his room at any time?
I did not see that poster. There was one point in time where I went into his room originally. So Colt, typically his room was usually always dark. He had a room darkening shade on even for the daytime. Lights were off. His monitor screens were usually the only, light in the room. I had gone in there to take him dinner one night, and there was a picture on the wall. It's a young kid. I didn't know who it was. We had been we always talked about bands and different things, and he always would say I was old, and I would tell him that band members we talked about, their kids are starting bands. And I was like, man, who is that? He was like, you don't know who that is? I'm like, nope. I said, I think that's that kid's son from Green Day, like the band. And he laughed. I'd never seen that picture before, didn't know who it was at all, and that's kind of where the conversation ended.
Okay. And you've heard testimony about in photographs where these, or some of these, were on the wall a couple of months before that.
Right.
And did you see those photographs as they were brought in?
No, I didn't see the shrine at any point in time in Colt's room. I think I told Investigator Smith when I saw that for the first time was during that interview. And I don't even remember seeing it on the day I went home of the shooting. I pointed out to Investigator Smith, I'm like, that single picture of that kid with the glasses right there, that's the only picture I ever remember seeing on his wall or talking to him about,
okay,
other than the concert posters and whatnot.
So when you went home that day, before the police got to your home, you didn't see those photographs then?
When I went home, I got home after Marcy, Jenni texting back and forth. I went to the house, went in. Marcy had texted me what she thought had happened, and I just could not get my mind wrapped around it. There was absolutely no way. I went into the house. I went to my room, or little Chloe's room, into my closet where the guns are stored, and I moved everything out of the way to check there first. Weapon was not there. I'm like, shit. Went down the hallway, cracked open his computer room door. Now, that was not his bedroom. His bedroom was in the laundry room at that time. So if I did all my talking to Colt at that point, once we switched the rooms, it was in his laundry room bedroom. I cracked the door, looked in there to see if I saw a gun or his gun or anything like that in case it was in there. Did not see it. I didn't see any shrine or anything on the wall. Never saw it.
Okay. Well, you had plenty of time while you were there to jerk all those off the wall, didn't you?
Yeah, I could have done that easily, but I'll say this. I didn't know even 17 killed, like I read that, I can understand, but I couldn't tell you anybody in the shrine by picture who any of those people were. I had no idea.
Did he have other things on his wall at various and sundry times?
We had all kinds of stuff. We'd hang targets that we'd go shooting with. We had concert posters. He had some weird poster. I still don't know who the guy is with the red hair. He had his deer that he shot mounted on the wall.
Have a flag in there at one time?
He did have a flag that Jenni bought him.
And I know I'm not going to go all over it's getting almost lunchtime. I'm not going to go over all the flurry of text. You've already seen those back and forth between you and Jenni and Marcy. But when you got home, did you turn the TV on? We saw the TV was on when they were
so when I came in the door, the TV was on. And that my first few steps in the kitchen, I remember hearing that TV, and I thought, see, this isn't him. He skipped school today again. My initial thought was that, man, like he didn't go to school today. I was kind of upset about that because I heard the TV.
They played a clip when the officers came up, and there was something kind of unclear that they said, and then you said, I knew it. What were you talking about?
So after me looking for, the SIG weapon, after the texts I received from Colt, this is not your fault, I'm sorry, all the things that we all saw and read. Marcy's kind of phone call to me is the first time anybody had ever said to me anything about school shootings. And I remember her saying, he talked to me all the time about school shootings, and she was crying, and I'm like, what? I said, I've never heard anybody say anything to me about school shootings. Just calm down. I remember telling her, there's no way this is Colt. And then Jenni's text. So those combinations of all that happening, when the police showed up, and I thought, okay, that's what when I said I knew it, I kind of pieced everything together of what was being said to me through texts and phone calls with Marcy, and I'm like, shit. The gun wasn't at the house, so I kind of knew it at that point what had happened.
Did you mean that you knew he was going to do this?
No, that's not what the statement was. Like, I knew he was going to school to do what he did.
You heard Jenni testify.
Yeah.
Did you ever tell her to lie about anything?
I would not tell my children to lie. We go back as far as anybody wants to go. Purpose of the bubble, all of this was to create an environment for my children to tell the truth. I don't care what you've done. so we could work things out. Never, I've got family in law enforcement. I would never tell her to lie about anything, first of all. But something serious like this, at this point, I still want to know what the hell happened. So I would never ask her to lie or cover up about anything. In fact, on the way there, what she said to me was, you know, Colt was fascinated with school shootings. And I remember looking at her and saying, why would you say that? Why didn't you tell me? And she said, he made me promise not to tell you. And I said, Jenni, I needed to know things like that. And she said, well, I'm scared. She said, do you think this is what this is about? And I'm like, the interview, and they're talking to me and her. And I said, I'm sure it is. Pulled in that parking lot, sat in that truck. She said, how long do you think this is going to take? I'm like, I have no idea. But the last thing I told my child was, whatever you do, don't lie. Just tell the truth. Just tell them what you know and don't lie. That's the last thing I remember telling Jenni when we went in there.
Were you upset, surprised when she came in and said that?
I am still to this moment extremely shocked. I know that's Jenni Gray, that's my daughter. I don't know who that was sitting up here. She doesn't act like that. She doesn't talk like that. I was shocked at what she said. I don't know how else to put it.
When she came to live with you, did you give up your master bedroom for her?
So part of the frustration probably with Colt as he saw it, I kind of gave Jenni a little more than I would give the two boys. I come from a family of girls, and you know, Jenni was kind of special to me, and so I wanted her to feel that I loved her and she was safe there and didn't have to deal with anything. So I said, you live with 3 boys now, so I'm going to give you the master bedroom, the master bath, so you have privacy. I had heard and listened and been around sisters my whole life, so I know she was reaching that age, and I wanted her to have that privacy, to not have to deal with Colt and all of us. So I made sure she had her own space in there to do whatever she needed to do. So yes, I did.
And did you and Jenni ever argue? Did y'all have any problems?
No, Jenni and I, was kind of a shocking thing to hear her talk about. You know, Colt didn't really go, but Jenni and Coley and I, it's rare, if at all, that we miss church. Our Sunday was go to church. She's a big reader. I would take them to Barnes & Noble right across from Athens Church, spend money on books for her, spend the day there. So we just had a really good relationship where she saw what I was doing for her and with her, and bought her an iPhone. I didn't buy anybody else an iPhone. I had to save a little bit longer. She was very patient and waited. But I just tried to do extra things. So Jenni and I really never had a riff, you know, and I could talk to her about things and she could talk to me about things. And Jenni was wise beyond her years. You know, she's very calm and perceptive and understood a lot more than people give her credit for. She's a smart kid too. So in my mind, we had a great relationship.
Okay. Is there any, if you can remember, any red flag or anything that Colt did that would make you believe that he would ever be capable of doing this act?
No, I struggle with it every day. I've never seen that video until yesterday. You know, he's a good kid. You know, he wasn't perfect, nor was I. But to do something that heinous, like I don't know if anybody could ever see that kind of evil, and like the Colt I knew and relationship I had, there's this whole other side of Colt I didn't know existed. So, no.
Was everything you did for Colt, did you try to placate him and try to make him okay?
I did. I just wanted him okay.
Thank you.
Nothing further. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and take a lunch recess. We'll be in recess till 1 o'clock.